Yo, what is poppin' YouTube fam? This is JMU, where being proactive is attractive. We got another guest here, and we got a live reaction. Go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell the fam a little bit about yourself.
You could say I'm a late bloomer. There's nothing wrong about being a late bloomer. About to graduate from UTD, major in criminology. I go by the name Pedro Castillo. People call me Paco, for the friends that know me. But yeah.
We got a live reaction for you guys. Now, for those of you who saw the last video, I had another colleague react to Kevin Samuels, but what I did not mention was that there is another video that we did see and live react to. So, you know, we kind of spoiled it for him, but we got a brand new person that we're going to react. You know, we're going to get his live reaction to this whole thing. We're going to get his thoughts and opinions on it. So, with that being said, let's get proactive, shall we? We're going to hit that play. Oh, man.
For work.
For Richard.
For Richard.
For poor.
For poor.
For poor. For poor. For poor. We hit that snag about 20 times in counseling. Real made it very clear to Johnson, you cannot be broke and in health.
And in health.
Oh, there you go. Okay, so that is the first part, right?
Yeah.
So what did you just get from that?
It's just for me, it's just disrespect.
So what about that? What stuck out to you?
Like the way she pretty much respond to the whole marriage. Like, what's the point of being in the marriage? Like, what was the whole point of vowing? You know, where's the partnership? Where's the politeness when it comes to vowing? Where's the authenticity when actually marrying? It seems kind of the demeanor she said it was like pretty much like disrespectful.
Notice that she was easily breezing along every single thing he had said until he got to the part where he said for poor. You know, notice that slight little hesitation there, and she had to nod a few times.
Yeah.
For poor, you know, it sounded like she was a little reluctant to say it, but she did it anyway because that's just what she had to do.
Yeah.
Right. So I don't know about you, but if I was this man, I would pay if I was in that man's place at the altar, experiencing this live, you know, having the audience in the back laughing at the whole thing, at that point, I'm already starting to rethink what's going on here. I'm starting to rethink my commitment. I'm rethinking whether or not I want to proceed forward and push forward with that marriage. I'm thinking, she's already letting me know that if I lose my job, she's out of there.
Yeah, I mean,
she just essentially let me know.
Yeah, like how would you, if you're that man right there, like how would you perceive that? Like how would you react to that? How would you position yourself, knowing that you know you're being recorded, you're in the literally front stage, vowing, giving the vow? Like how would you? Like, what's to be the right response? Like what would be the right thing to do?
Because all eyes are on you at the end of the day. They're not just on her; they are on you. So I do get it. And maybe he knew he was being recorded. Maybe he didn't. Maybe he figured somebody would record this little interaction. But at the end of the day, one thing that you gotta understand: if you ever decide that you want to get up on the altar, at the end of the day, if you decide to marry somebody like that, everybody at the end of the day, everybody else goes home.
Yeah.
You got to deal with that shit at the end of the day. You got to deal with that shit years from now, however much. No, that's you. That's your life at that point. You know, so that's definitely something you've got to think about. So I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna rewind it back a little bit because there is a second part to this that is the real kicker here.
We hit that snag about 20 times in counseling. Real made it very clear to Jonathan, you cannot be broke. And in health.
And in health.
To love,
To love,
cherish,
cherish,
and to obey.
We didn't talk about that one in counseling.
We did talk about that in counseling. Yes, we did. So you want me to repeat that again? You want to just keep going?
I think we can keep going.
Oh my god.
You hear that? So what's your thoughts and opinions on that?
Man, it's a very uncomfortable situation where you don't want to look like the bad guy because that's what they're gonna perceive as like, oh, like how you're gonna react to it. Because he laughed it off, because how you're gonna react to that, like how you're gonna be like, what, like, like
You're in his shoes, and that literally just happened, and she literally reneged on the vows. She was perfectly fine with saying everything until he got to the part where he said, "and to obey."
Yeah.
Hesitated and even said, "We didn't talk about that in counseling." And the pastor, doubled down and said, "We did talk about that in counseling."
Yeah, at that point, she's not, they're both not on the same page, the way I look at it. I mean, that was the whole point of being in a marriage, right? I mean, y'all vow, y'all agree at some points. I just feel like, man, I mean, if I was that person, if I was that guy standing there, I will be extremely careful. Man,
I was like,
I'll
"You're being extremely careful." You're on the spot. You're on the spot at the wedding day. There is no more time. It's like you gotta make a decision. You just
I'll back out.
I was like, you got key information just off of 2 responses she gave.
Yeah, my final decision is that I would just backed away from it. Just me being logical. I'm not reacting on emotion or anything like that. But yeah, given the information in a very short, time manner, I would just back away from it.
No hesitation for me. No hesitation.
Yeah. I'll back away.
Because I'm looking at that and I'm thinking,
the problem,
this is going to be a fucking problem.
And the problem is, you're being video recorded. You're in front of, I don't know, thousands of people. You got the camera on you. It just, as a man, it wouldn't sit well because, like, oh, you're gonna get views, you're gonna get
but at the end of the day, it's your marriage, it's your life, right? Again, we literally just talked about some of the crazy. We literally just discussed some divorce stories, right?
Yeah.
You're thinking, hey, I don't want to be the bad guy, this, that, and the third, but before you really think about how you're gonna look, start thinking about those divorce stories, those horror stories in divorce, where you got kids with this person and they're using them as weapons. They can't, they're going after you for crazy amounts of child support while they're living with another man and shit. Possibly poisoning the kids against you. The kids don't want to see you, and all this stuff. But you're paying for kids that you're not even seeing anymore. They're they're withholding kids. The courts aren't enforcing anything. Just think of what a living hell that's going to be. And it's already hard out there for a player anyway. It's already hard out there to live on your own. Imagine just every month, $500 gone. Yeah. Gone. You're paying it to a woman who is likely not even putting that towards a kid. You know what I mean? What are they doing? They're probably going on trips or they're going on these weekend getaways with their girlfriends, or they're probably, or with their new man, where, now that new man is the new daddy type shit, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Just think of all of that shit that you're going to go through in divorce. But you know, when you start thinking, damn, I'm gonna be the bad guy here, you know?
So in this situation, we can pretty much agree in this situation that he should have just walked out and not say anything.
My thing is, like, just based on how he reacted, right? The laughing and all this stuff. Even if he wasn't being recorded, right? Even if the crowd wasn't laughing, right?
Yeah.
You know, even without all of that pressure, something tells me he would have stayed anyway.
Yeah, I feel like...
I just have a feeling.
Yeah, and pretty much the... What do you call that?
Like, I don't know. I don't think he sees what she said as actual red flags. I don't know what the dynamic of the relationship was like prior to marriage. It doesn't, based on how she's behaved and how he's kind of laughed it off, this sounds like this isn't new to him, right?
Yeah.
So this doesn't seem like she would be like this bait and switch type wife.
Yeah.
You know, so this seems like something that he's already accustomed to, if I'm being honest. So, I mean, I don't think she really showed a new side of her or any of that. I find it hard to believe. So,
what do you, if you were that man about to get married and stuff, what do you continue on from that?
I'm not continue with that marriage. Here's my thing. Here's an even bigger question. How were they able to get to this point, you know, despite what they talked about in marriage counseling? Because it sounds like they went through marriage counseling not even on the same page about things. So it's like, how did they even get to this point to where they're at the altar?
And then she pretty much doubled down. Well, yeah, she pretty much doubled down because, what do you call that? The pastor that's giving out the whole, he even told her that, hey, we talked about this, we agreed on this, we went over this, why you're fronting on what you're saying right now. It's pretty much countering what you just said, you know? So it seems like they didn't agree in some points, but she either just said it just to get through the counseling and get married, or maybe, you know, it was something like it was forced on her, you know, pretty much forced on her or something like that. And he's laughing it out because it seems like he's already accustomed to the way she acts, and he's pretty much going with the flow. Yeah, it's pretty much like he's just giving it a shot, pretty much. I mean, regardless of the consequences, I mean, he's gonna do it regardless, and pretty much gambling at this point.
And to tie this all up with the red bow, at the end, the pastor gave her one more chance. You want me to go back over that, or do you want to just skip over that? And she decided to skip over that whole thing and move on, which should probably just be a clear-cut indicator of this is not going to go well.
Yeah, this is not going to go well.
But again, based off of how that little interaction went and how the man kind of received that whole thing, she likely wore or is still currently wearing the pants in that dynamic between him and her.
Yeah.
You know, I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case.
Yeah. It seems she's going to be in control of the whole marriage, but, you know.
But, you know, she'll still expect him to protect her and all that stuff when shit hits the fan, but, you know, she doesn't want to, you know, follow his lead. You know, what do they say? They say responsibility without authority is slavery.
Yeah.
That's what they say. And that is the biggest issue with a lot of the modern gals nowadays. They want us to take on all of the responsibility but have no authority.
Yep.
So it's like, if I'm going to be responsible for you, if you want me to be responsible for your safety, this, that, and the third, you want me to literally put my life on the line for you, I need to have some degree of authority as to where, where you're going, especially if I'm not going to be there.
Yeah, you're calling
right?
shots.
To where it's like, I'm not even saying no, you can't go to the club because I'm thinking you're gonna like step out on me or any of that shit. But shit pops off at the club all the time.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So shit pops off at the club, and I ain't there. You know what I mean?
Protect you.
Exactly. And if something were to happen, that shit's on me. I'm responsible for that shit. I'm responsible for what happened. You know. So risk prevention at the end of the day.
Risk prevention.
You know, but hey, if he wants to sign up for all responsibility with no authority, that's on you, my man. That's on you. So at that point, it's, God forbid, hopefully they ain't got no kids, but just whatever it is that happens, man, anything bad that happens to you involving this woman from here on, this man is going to, he deserves everything that's coming to him. Assuming he is not ignorant to the red flags. If he's ignorant to the stuff, then somebody's got to let him know. You know what I mean? Somebody's got to tell him.
Yeah, it's one of those situations where as we get older and we start maturing, like, we should already know red flags from the get-go. And if you become oblivious to that, then you're just going to be stepped on and stuff like that. So I will say this, like, you got to recognize the red flags from the start. Then you proceed on, dating and, eventually marry and stuff like that. But you actually highlighted a key point about, in order to have, a greater responsibility, you got to have, authority when it comes to that. Like, would you let your wife go to the club knowing that, what if she told you where she was at or what time she was going? Would you be okay with that? Or you wouldn't be okay if you didn't know where she was going to be at? Like, you say, she planned to say, oh, I'm going to be at my friend's party, but she didn't give you, like, where you're going to be at, what time you're going to be back home, stuff like that. How do you handle that?
Well, communication is key, right?
Yeah.
For starters, the first thing I would do, I would honestly screen her friends first.
Yeah.
What are her friends like, right? Are they in happy relationships too? Are they in relationships with guys where they wear the pants?
Yeah.
And they're cheating on their guys. They're in open relationships, open marriages. Are your friends single or divorced?
Yeah.
And things like that. I
heard a phenomenon. I heard that single girls will keep other girls single.
Yes, they do, because they like their wing girl.
Yeah.
And they see their man as an obstacle in the way of their girl having their fun like the good old days.
Yeah.
And things like that. You know what I mean? It's shit like that happens all the time. And you gotta think, right? When it comes to women and their circle group of friends, you really gotta pay attention as to what the friends are doing, because what the friends are doing is gonna be what she starts to do.
Oh yeah.
So if they're all married, let's say it's a group of 5 and they're all married, one gets divorced, to no surprise,
Domino effect.
They start getting divorced, and what happens in an open relationship? She starts talking to her other friends about how great it is. Then it's just one after another after another, and it's eventually going to get to your girl.
Yeah, that's.
You really got to pay attention to who your girl is spending time with.
Totally agree on that.
Not even just friends, but if she hangs out with family all the time, you see her family is a bunch of ratchetness.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You got to think, does she got a little bit of that in her? I don't know. Who knows?
Who knows?
You know what I mean? But the thing about, you did talk about red flags, man. I think the big issue is people have bought into this hyper individualism based mindset to where just because this one thing correlates with this one person doesn't mean it applies to every person. This whole thing about nobody knows everybody, and because you don't know everybody, you don't know. Because you don't know everyone, you don't know anyone, type thing, and that is just a wrong way to go about it. There's such thing called the law of averages. There's a law of averages. There's the exception doesn't make the rule. If something is true more times than not, you go off of the more times than not based on type basis. It keeps you sane. It keeps you in a mindset of making informed, educated decisions.
Yeah.
Right? To where, let's say this one person in front of you is the exception to the rule, right? If she's exhibiting all of these behavioral traits that are perceived red flags, knowing what you know, are you going to be willing to roll the dice? She may be the exception, but are you willing to roll that dice?
Yeah. Yeah, it's like one of those situations, like, you just pretty much have to gamble at that point.
Why gamble when you could just, look for somebody who doesn't exhibit these set red flags in the first place? Somebody who doesn't go to the bars and the clubs every single weekend, who isn't shaking her ass on the internet, who doesn't have the OnlyFans, who isn't friends with all of her exes and things like that, who doesn't have a bunch of guy friends and whatnot. Especially some that she's probably had some kind of friends with benefits fling thing going on with at some point. Just, hey, some girl that doesn't do any of that stuff, just period.
Yeah.
But a lot of more traditional minded girls, they know that that's the kind of stuff that bothers men, and then they just do that stuff automatically.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like, someone who just gets it.
So, when it comes to girls having OnlyFans and shaking their ass, over the internet, whatsoever. Pardon me, not ass, but just keep it safe. Not trying to get your channel. But like, how would you consider that? Would you just like put it in a recycle bin? Or like, would you just put her in that side there? It's like, okay, I know for a fact I don't have any future upcomings with her.
No future. Period. Some would say recreational use only, but honestly, I'm just better off not even. Honestly, I wouldn't even waste my time.
Yeah.
It's just because I'm a busy man.
Yeah.
I'm busy enough as is, right? If you have more time to waste, then fine. Yeah. Right? If you have more time at your disposal, right, then feel free to do whatever, right? Yeah. But the less time you have available to you, the more valuable your time is. Yeah. The less you want to waste it.
That's true. That's very true.
And so, just out of principle of me not wasting time, that's just something. Hey, if I have more time at my disposal, maybe.
Yeah.
But there's other girls that are much more available, agreeable. Probably isn't. You don't have to climb as big of a mountain, whatever. But yeah. So we got off track a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't know how long this vid is. It's probably been like 25 minutes, but for a 1 minute clip. But there was a lot to talk about in that clip, man. But
especially when it comes to red flags, I just think like it's true what you're saying. Law averages. Not everyone's gonna just because this woman's shaking her ass over the internet or has an OnlyFans, we completely disregard her. But if it's like something like very small, let's say like, she's very, authoritative, she has a lot of authority, or domineering, she's very, dominant, if you want to say. Is this something that you can work around with?
That boss babe personality?
Yeah, is this something that you can work around with?
I'm not even wasting my time. I'm not even wasting my time. Like, because it's a headache. You know what I mean? It's just this. It's like
they just want to compete. Like, I guess that's what it is until, she realized that, she ain't that big what she is.
Because somebody like that just brings mental stress to you. And it's like, as a man, you already have enough stress out there in the outside world. The last thing you need is more stress to invite more stress from a female that you chose to get involved with.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you really gotta be the person you choose to get involved with is one of the most important choices you'll ever make.
Yeah.
And that
point taken.
especially gets reflected in divorce. So yeah. Well, you guys heard it here, folks. You heard it from us. I will be inviting more guests onto the channel for sure, but for now, we're gonna sign out, guys. So
later.
Out.